Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video we'll see how we can create a shopping cart in React.js. And for that you see that I've created a sample project. Here we have some products, and in each product we have a button that we can add it to the shopping cart. You notice also that the count of the product in a shopping cart will update it when I click or when I add a product to the shopping cart. And by clicking on this button you see that we will see the shopping cart and we will see the products that we've added. Here we can also update the count of a product in a shopping cart. So for example, I can update this one to 2. You notice also that the price was updated. We can also remove a product from the shopping cart, and we can close the shopping cart here. One more thing that I want to show you is if I go to the same page from another tab, you see that we still have the product in our shopping cart, and it is because I've used the local storage to store the product in a local storage. So when we next time come to the same page, we will just load it back from the local storage. One more thing that I want to mention is that we will not create the whole page in this video. Rather, we will just create this shopping cart, and we will add the functionality to these buttons. So the product will be added to the shopping cart. And by that said, now let's get started. So as you can see, I've already opened the app.js file here, and you see that there is some code inside it. And this code are for showing this page. See, we have a nav bar and we have these products as I've showed before. But right now when I click on these buttons, nothing happen, and when I click on the shopping cart button, nothing happen either. One more thing that I want to mention is this. You see that I've used the icon for the shopping carts button, and you see that I've imported from React icons, which means that we need to install the React icons as dependency if we want to use a icon from React icons. So you can install it by running this command in terminal in the same folder as your project, and then you can search for shopping cart. So this is the icon that I've used, and this icon is came from this game icons you see here. So you can copy the name of the icon, and then you can import it from React icons GI. Okay, so now let me explain this apps component. So here you see we in this app component return div tag. Then we return we have the nav bar here, which has the logo, and the button, which is the shopping cart button. Then in the main part we have a title which says products, and then we have a div tag with a class name products, which is the containers of the products. And then inside that we have products. So this products is a variable that we have here. You see it is an array, and which is a list of products, and each product, as you can see, has the ID, name, rating, which is from 0 to 5, a description, a price, and an image. And for the image, you see that I've imported them from using require, and I've imported them from assets images. And if I go to the assets, you see that we have images, and so these are the images that I've used for this project. Okay, so here we go through each product, and then we create a div tag with a class name product. Then we have the product's image, we have the product's name. Then here we have component ratings stars, which you see you can find them inside this components folder. So I've created a separate component for this rating stars. Then we have the product's description, and then product's price, and here we have the buttons. So we have detail buttons, which we don't work with it in this video, but we have this add to cart button, but right now you see there is no on a click handler for it. So when we click on this button, nothing happened, but we're gonna add a event handler for this button later. Now we can create the shopping cart, and for that I'm gonna create a separate component. First I'm gonna just zoom in so you can see it better. Now I'm gonna create a new component here. So inside the components folder, and name it shopping cart.js. Here I'm gonna create the empty component. Then I'm gonna create a CSS file as well, which will be the styling for this component. You can also name it shopping cart.css. Then inside this shopping cart we can import it. And the voice style, and the shopping cart.css. So I'm gonna also import the two icons. Yeah, I'm gonna just copy and paste them. See, we have these two icons from React Icons AI and from React Icons RI. This component will take some props. We will have the visibility. We will have the products. The products will be the products that will be shown in a shopping cart. Then we have it on a product remove, and then on a close, and then on a quantity change. So as their name says, so the first one is used for the visibility of the shopping cart, so it will be either shown or not. The second one, as I said, was the products in a shopping cart. This third one will be on a products remove, so when we want to remove a product, this props will be run, which is a function actually. So same for on close, so when we close the shopping cart, this one will be executed. And when we want to change a quantity of a product in a shopping cart, this props will be run. So this component will return a div tag with a class name model. We will also add a style props for this div tag, and here we will, for display, we're gonna check if visibility is true, and if it is, then we want to set the display to block, otherwise we set the display to none. So then inside this div tag, we're gonna add another div tag, and we can give it a class name header. Inside it we will have a h2 tag that says shopping cart, and then we will have a button. Can give it a class name, so the class name will be button, and the close button. Then for the on a click, we're gonna just set the on a click, on a close from the props. And we can also add an icon for this button, so it will be this AI fill close circle that we've imported here at the top. We can set, or we can change the size to the 30. So this is our close button for the shopping cart. Then we're gonna add another div tag after this header, and we can give it a class name cart products. So inside this div tag, we're gonna check if products dot length is equal 0. Then we want to return a span with a class name empty text, and inside it we're gonna type your basket is currently empty. So then we're gonna go to the products using the map function. So for each product we want to return a div tag can give the class name cart product, and we can also give the key. So the key will be product ID, product ID. So inside it we will have an image. The image will have a source. The source will be product dot image, and we can also add a alt attribute for the image, and we can set it to product name. So after the product's image, we can add the product's name. For that, I'm gonna add a div tag and give the class name product info, and inside it I'm gonna add a h3 tag, and then I'm gonna put the product name inside. So then I'm gonna add a span for the product's price. So here it will be product, class name product price, and inside it I'm gonna put product dot price multiplied by product dot count. So the count will be the count of the product in a shopping cart, as you remember, and that I showed at the beginning. We can change the count of a product in a shopping cart, and each time we are changing it, so this will be updated, which will cause the price that is shown in a shopping cart will be updated as well. And then I'm gonna add a $signs here. All right, then I'm gonna add another here. I'm gonna add after the products info, I'm gonna add a select here. I'm gonna give it a class name count, So, and the value will be product dot count. So for the on a change, so each time the value is changed on a change, we want to run the on a quantity change, and we're gonna pass the product ID, so which product we want to update, or which the count of which product will be updated, and then we're gonna pass the event target value, which will be the new count. So then after this, inside the select, we're gonna open a curly bracket here. So inside it, we're gonna add the options for this select, which will be the counts that we can select for the product. Here I'm gonna open a bracket and type array dot or just array and parenthesis, and we're gonna pass the 10 to it, and then we're gonna get the keys, and then we can use the split operator here. So what this line do is that it will create an array that contains the numbers from 0 to 9. Then we want to go through those numbers using the map function. So for each number, we want to create a num const, which will be number +1. And here we are adding 1 to numbers because we want numbers from 1 to 10, not from 0 to 9. Then we want to return option, which has a value. The value will be the num, and the key will be the num as well. So, and between this option, we can put the here the num as well. So then we can so here we have so this select will be for the selecting the count of a product. After that, we can add a button. We can give it a class name. So this will be the button for removing a product from the shopping cart. So we can give it a class name button and remove button. For the on a click event, we can call the on a product remove, and then we're gonna pass the product as argument to this on a product remove, so this function will know which product will be removed. Then inside the button, we can add a icon, and the icon will be this this icon that we've imported here at the top. We can also change the size to 20. Okay, and after we've added the products, we can check the product's length is greater than 0, then we want to add this checkout button as well. For that, we can add a button, can give it a class name button and checkout button, and then for the button's text we can, or we don't need the curly bracket here, we can just type proceed. It should be proceed to checkout. So, and I think it will be our shopping cart. Now we can go back to the app.js. Here I'm gonna first import the user state hook. Then inside the app component, I'm gonna create two states. The first one will be for the cart's visibility, so we can name it the cart's visibility and set visibility, or we can set cart visible. Then by default it will be false. The second one will be products in a cart and set a product, the products. So, and by default it is an empty array, so there is no products in a cart. Then before this navbar, we can add the shopping cart component that we've created. Then I'm gonna pass the visibility. So the visibility will be carts. We can just copy and paste it here. Carts visibility, and then for the products, we can set the products in a cart. Okay, so, and then for this button, the shopping cart button, we can add on a click handler. So when we click on this button, we want to set the cart visible to true. So we change the visibility to true. So now let's check how it looks like. So if I click, you see we got the cart here. Now let's add the styling for this shopping cart so it looks better. For that, we can open this shopping cart .css. Then I'm gonna just copy the styles and try to explain it. So here we can start by this model. So this model, if we'll go back to the shopping cart.js, you see this will be the first div tag that has the class name model. So this is styling for that. Here in the model, we set the position to fixed and then set the top, left, right, and bottom to 0, and then I've changed the width and height to 100%, and then I've set the background color to black, but I've changed the alpha part for to 55, which make the background a bit transparent. And then I've set the Z index to 10, so it will move it to the top of all the elements. So let's look. You see now we have a dark layer over the other elements. So this is what this model does. Then I can copy the styling for the shopping cart, and here it looks like we've I forgot to add a div tag for the shopping cart. So here we need to add another div tag with a class name shopping cart. Then we're gonna move all the elements. We're gonna move all the elements inside this div tag. And so now we have this shopping cart and this styling that we've added here. You see we changed the width and height here, and we set added the margin to the top and bottom, and we set the margin for the left and right to the auto. Then for background color, you see I changed here, added the padding, and this changed the display to flex, and flex direction will be column, so we can see the elements inside the shopping cart in one column. Then also change the position to relative. So now let's look at it. Here this will be our shopping cart, and then I'm gonna add the styling for the header. So this header will be, so here we had the shopping cart, and inside it we had the header, and this will be this title and this button. So you see here I've changed the display to flex, and by default the flex direction will be row, so we will see all the elements in one row. Then change the background color and added some padding, and then here I've set the justify content space between. So if I open it, you see we had two elements, and this justify content space between will move these two to the corner of the parent element, and put all the white space between those two. Okay, so now let's add the styling for close button. So here I've changed just the color to the main color, and if we look in a main.css, you see we have some CSS variables here, and main colors is this one. Then for empty text, you see I've changed the display to block and changed some padding and set the margin to auto. Nothing special there. And for carts products, you see currently it won't affect because we have no products inside our shopping cart. But what this does is it will set the display to flex and column. So in a demo you saw that we had each product in one row. So we had one column and each product in one row. So then we set the align items to flex start, and then added a padding to the bottom and top of the this cart products, and then I've set the overflow for y-axis to the scroll. So if this will overlap the parent element, so we will get a, here you see also we will get a scroll bar at the right of the shopping cart. I think we can stop for right now here. Then when we are adding the products, we can add the rest of the styling, because right now we don't have the products, so we can see how these styles that I'm adding affected. So we can go back to the app.js for now, and let's add the function for adding the product. So we can create add product to cart. Inside it, we can create variable and call it new product, and it will be the product that we want to So it will take a copy of the product that we want to add it to the shopping cart. Then we're gonna add another field to it, which will be the count, and it is 1. So the first time we want to add a product to the cart, the count will be 1. Then we can use the set product. So you see this set products here will update the products inside the shopping cart. So the products that we want to set to shopping cart will be the old products in shopping cart. So if we already had some products in a shopping cart, we don't want to touch it, rather we want to just copy it. And we want to also add the new product like that. So now when we want to run this add the products to the cart, it is when we want to click on this add to cart. So here we can add another on a click event to this button, and here we want to call the add to cart, and the product will be same as the product. So you see we look through the products here. So this product is the product that we want to add to the shopping cart. So and by that, now let's see if it is working. And you see that this close doesn't work yet, and for that first let's add it. We can here say on a close. For on a close we want to set the cart visible to false. So when we want to click on the close button, so this will be executed. So now let's check it. Here we go. So now let's add some products. We don't have this number right now, but if we click on this icon or this button, you see that we have the products right now in our shopping cart. So let's first add this count number for the shopping carts button. We can add it here inside the shopping carts button after this icon. So here we can check if the products in a cart length is greater than 0. So if there is some product in a cart, then we want to add an span with a class name product count, and the product count will be same as the product in a cart, products in a cart, and length. So it will be same as the products in a cart length. Now let's check it. If I add some product to the shopping cart, you see that we see the count of the product here in the shopping carts button. So now if I click on it, and you see we have the products here. Now let's add the rest of the styling for the shopping cart, so this product looks better. So we can go back to the shopping cart.css. We can start by adding the styling for one product in the shopping cart. So each product will have a display of flex, and the flex direction will be in the row, which means each product will be one row. Then I've set the justify content to a space between, and I've changed the align items to center. So this will center the elements inside the cart product vertically. Then I've set the width to 100% and changed the background to white, and added some padding and the border. So now let's check how it looks like. So it didn't affect at all. So it is maybe I forgot to add this to the div. So here we go through each product. Okay, so it is because I misspelled it. So now let's check it again. So here we go. Now let's add the styling for the product info. So the product info, so if you go back here, you see that each product has an image, and this div tag, which is the product info, and the product info will be product's name and the price. Then we have the select and this remove button. So here for this div tag, you see we've added the flex spaces to 50%, which means that this will get the 50%, the width of so the width of this div will be 50%. And then we have here the h3 tag. So here I've just changed the font width and the font size for the h3 tag, which is this product name. Then for the product count, so this select, so here you see I've changed it to width of select to the 70 pixel, and I've changed the font size to 1 rem, and I removed the outline. And for the product image, you see I've changed the width to 100 pixel and changed the, or I added a background color to it, which is a white background color. So now let's check it again. Here we go. And then let's add the styling for if we go back here, so you see this button is the checkout button. So now let's add the styling for it as well. So the checkout button, you see we added a background color to it, added some padding, and it changed the font size, and the text inside this button will have a white color. And then I've set the align self to center and added some margin. So this align self, you see if I remove it and go back, you see it is at the left, but when we add it back, you see it will be centered. So this is what this align self does. Then we have this margin, which will add a margin to top and bottom, and I think this is extra, so we can just remove it. So yeah, we will have a margin to rem at the top and at the bottom of this button. Okay, so I think it is the styling part of the shopping cart. Now let's go back to the app.js, and here now let's add the, so in a shopping cart you saw that we had, right now we have we didn't add the on a products remove and on a quantity change prop. So now let's add these two in the app.js, and then we can pass it to our shopping cart. We can start by adding the on a quantity change. On a quantity change, we will get the product ID, and we'll also get the count. So here we can use the set products method from here, and actually we can pass a callback function to this set products. So there we will get the old state as parameter, so we can access the old state, and here we can find the products index. So we can type old state and then find index to find the index of an item that has the same ID as product ID. So when we found it, so we're gonna check if product index is not equal -1. So if we found it, so that means that we found the product. Then we want to, so all the state, and then product index, and then we want to set the count to the count. So, and by doing this, we updated the count of the product to the new count. Then we want to return the new state, which will be a copy of the old state. And this old state, as you saw, we've updated here. Okay, so now let's also pass it to the shopping cart. So on a quantity change, then let's check if it is working. So we can add some products to the shopping cart. Then we can update the, okay, we got an error here. So let's see what is it saying. Cannot set properties of undefined setting count. Okay. So it should be all the state. Okay. It should be product index, of course. So now let's run it again. And change the count. As you saw, the price was updated. So that means that now this on a quantity change is done. So we are able to change the quantity of a product. Now let's add the on a remove. So on a product remove. So here we will get the product. And here we can use the set products again with a callback function, all the state. We will do the same steps as we did up there. So actually we can just copy it. The only thing that we have to, okay, this one as well. So first when we want to find the products index, it will be, so the item ID will be equal to product.id. And then if we found it, we want to remove it. To remove it, we can type all the state splice. So we can use the splice method to remove it. Then we want to remove the product at index, product index. And the second argument will be the how many items we want to remove, and it is just one, so we want to remove the item at this index, not any other items. And then we want to return the new state, and that's it. Now let's pass it to the shopping cart. So on a product remove, we want to call this method. So now let's check it. Can add another one here. Here we go. Fantastic. So now there is just one more thing left. So if you refresh your browser right now, you see that those products will be removed from the shopping cart. So to make it happen that even if we close the browser and open it again, so those products should be in our shopping cart. For that we can use the local storage. So now let's add that functionality as well. It will be quite simple. So first here, when we are setting the products, so this is the first or this is the default products that will be in a shopping cart, and right now it is empty array, so which means there won't be any product in a shopping cart by default. And each time we are running the app or when we are refreshing the browser, so we are getting this default value. So the default value is the one that we have to change, and we can change it to JSON parse, and we want to parse the local storage get item and then the key. So the key can be shopping cart. Okay, so here local storage get item will get the item from local storage, and the item we want to get has this ID. And because this will return a JSON string, we need to convert it to JavaScript object, which this JSON parse will do, and then we will store it to this state. So now we've updated the default state. So by default, we will get the items that are stored in a local storage. Now, when should we store the data to the local storage? For that, we can import the useEffect hook here. Then after this state, we can use it. So, and we want to run this useEffect each time the products in a cart is updated. So the second argument for the useEffect will be the dependencies. So each time one of these dependencies updated, this function, this callback function, will be executed. So here we want to set the local storage. So we want to store to the local storage, and for that we can use the set item, and we want to store a item with the key shopping cart, and the item that we want to store will be JSON stringify and products in a cart. So each time any product is removed or added to the shopping cart, this callback function will be executed, and in this callback function we will set the item. So we will set the item to with this key, and here we are converting. So in a local storage we can't just store the JSON objects, so we need to convert it to the string, JSON string. And here then we are setting we are converting the products in a cart to the JSON string, and then it will be stored to the local storage. By that, now let's check if it is working. So we can run it, and we got some error here. Okay, so it is because here the first time we are running, we are getting the product, there is no product, so it will just return null. And if it is null, we can check. So it should be empty array. So if it is null, so it is saying if it is not null, so it will just store those products in this products in cart. Otherwise, if it is null, we will just set the products in a cart to the empty array. So now let's check it again. So let's run it, refresh it. Okay, now let's add some products and remove it, update it, and refresh it. And here we go. Okay, so by doing this will be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed it, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you got any question, you can leave it in the comment section below, so I'm gonna try to answer them if I knew the answer. So thank you for watching.